Hi, everybody. This is Ingrid Vandervalt. You are on the road with Ivy, back in segment number 3 with Craig Newmark of Craigslist.org. Welcome back to the show, Craig. Great to see you.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
So, Craig, in this segment, we really want to talk about some lessons learned and advice for entrepreneurs. So in the 10 years that you ran the organization, you've been involved with the organization and seen this extraordinary growth, and especially doing it from the perspective of an accidental entrepreneur, it's fascinating to me. What are some of the keys to your success that you can offer as advice for emerging entrepreneurs?
Well, I ran it only for 3 to 4 years, although I do have a hand in governance still at this point. The advice I'd give anyone is to provide really good customer service, that following from shared values, like the idea that you want to treat people like you want to be treated. And then you really want to listen to trusted advisors, including your lawyers and so on. You do need to use your instincts because, well, in my case, there were a few times when my intuition was telling me to not do a particular thing, and if I had been listening, I wouldn't have done it, and we'd be in better shape at the moment. I should be in better shape personally.
Can you give us an example of that? Because it's hard to believe when people look at you today, they just see this wild and crazy success story, and it's hard to imagine that there have been instances like that for you, but they're certainly helpful to us to relate to.
Well, in my case, I didn't take corporate governance seriously enough. For example, I wound up granting that equity to that guy who sold it to eBay, and perhaps I should have been listening to what my lawyers were telling me about that, but I wasn't paying attention. I was being impatient and got myself into a kind of denial, and the denial is bad for us all.
Well, Craig, the way that you and I got connected was because actually one of the producers of the show, Lynn Graft, met you in Austin and talked to you about the show and, asked you to come on. You were so willing to come on and share your information with us. We really appreciate that. But the reason that I bring that up is because you are so accessible and you really are. You built Craigslist because you're helping others. So in this sort of dog-eat-dog corporate world, how do you protect yourself against people who are abusing the system, or against just the tough nature of how business can be? Do you do that with Jim? Is he the watchdog of Craigslist?
Well, one question at a time. Our site is primarily protected by the people who use the site. If you see an ad that's wrong for some reason, you can flag it for removal, and if other people agree with you and flag the ad also, it's removed automatically. Beyond that, we do have tools to see what's going on in terms of bad behavior, and we can get rid of chunks of it at a time. We need to work on more. We do need to do better in some regards, and we are trying to do better all the time.
Okay, so as an entrepreneur, and when you figured out that you wanted to grow the business, but you were not the manager, and you sought out Jim, did you know Jim as the guy you wanted going into your search, or what was it about Jim that you said, okay, he is my yin to my yang? What was that about Jim?
Okay. What happened is that I hired him to be a lead technical guy, saw that he was really good also at the management aspects of work, and made him quickly CTO, and then not very long after realized that we needed a serious manager at the helm, so I made that Jim.
Okay. So what does the future hold for you, Craig? I mean, what's next? I know you're involved in a number of different projects, but what's the future with you and Craigslist?
Well, for me with Craigslist, again, I'll continue doing what I've been doing, customer service, some media, some corporate governance. For me outside of Craigslist, I seem to be applying the lessons and stuff that I've learned doing Craigslist to other efforts. I realized recently that I guess I'm a community organizer, which is one of the purest forms of grassroots democracy, so I'm trying to apply this to governance, for example, with the Obama campaign. I've been trying to apply it just helping out other groups like the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, and trying to apply it to again, Washington and state capital-based governance by becoming part of Sunlight Foundation, which focuses on funding online databases which allow you to see how politicians and lobbyists use money.
So, Craig, I can only imagine that you couldn't have imagined this happening to you when you first started out, and this has to be an extraordinary ride for you. With Craigslist Foundation, what are your plans there with the foundation?
Well, the idea of the foundation is that it helps other nonprofits become more effective, which is to say it helps people helping people. And there they have it pretty well under control, running boot camps, building some online information, that kind of thing. So that's the story with the foundation itself. My role in it, frankly, is pretty minor. I'm the glamorous figurehead, sometimes providing advice. But, philanthropy is not my area of expertise. What I'd like to do is find people who are doing a good job with something, and then give them some kind of support.
Well, see, Craig, and I think that's when our producers were telling us both up front we needed our makeup people. I think we really do need them to travel with us because, in your case, you're the glamorous figurehead, and I just like to do the show. So we need that. Yeah, for sure. Craig, thank you so much for your time, and really we're so inspired by everything that you're doing to create good in the world, and we actually have a very special segment number 4 where we're going to talk about doing the right thing with you, and so we're going to go ahead and end segment number 3, and we welcome you back in segment number 4. Again, Craig, thanks very much, and great to see you.
My pleasure.